that was like, wow, for a little black, fat, ugly girl, because that's who I saw myself as. So that attention on that stage at 7 and 8, it was like a hit, a crack. It was like that first high. I needed that attention. I longed for attention. Fast forward, I ended up on that stage at an older age. It was almost like I was drawn to it. I wanted to experience that, what it felt like again, to be on that stage, be getting that money, this, that, and the other. And so I ended up getting out of that 7-year horrific relationship. It took me finally speaking up about it to my aunt, speaking up about it at my job. Woo! Shout out to Century Surety Company. That's who I worked for. When they found out what was going on with the abuse that I was escaping from, they invested thousands and thousands of dollars to secure our workplace. They built this glass, bulletproof glass, it was just thick glass that surrounded the entire secretary station area, because it used to just be open, so anybody could come in off the streets and come in. They invested thousands of dollars to secure it. They got us an intercom system. There was a lock on the door. You had to have passwords, or the receptionist had to pull you in. They start screening all of my calls, because he would get people to sneak to call me, and he would give me all these threatening. They did everything under the sun to protect me. Shout out Century Surety Company. Money was no object. They said not under our watch. And then of course, you know, we can't pass up the fact that when you put your job on notice that you're in a situation like this, but most people don't. They're ashamed, they're afraid that they're in a domestic violence situation, that they're in an abusive relationship. They typically don't tell their place of business, but once you put your place of business on notice, they are required by law to take the measures to protect you or to secure you. So I was a paralegal. I worked for the attorney. You know, they did what they needed to do. Nonetheless, God got me out of that relationship. It took me telling my aunt. My aunt called up the media. The media called the prosecutor's office, and so much was going on. The prosecutor's office pulled the FBI in. So now I got my job, I got the media, I got the prosecutor's office, and I got the FBI involved. It was like that, y'all. It was like that. So God gets me out of this, and what do? I don't do no praise dance for God. I dance for the devil. Fast forward, I end up back on that stage. Fast forward through all of the details, but I ended up being SA'd by one of the customers, one of the clients, one of the patrons at the bar. And I'm pausing because I signed an NDA, so I'm being careful with my words. Like I said, I'm healed, set free, delivered, but I have to be mindful. So I was SA'd by one of the patrons. I tried to go to work the next day to my real job at Century Surety Company. I don't know what happened, what somebody said or somebody did, but it triggered me. Let me say something real quick about triggers. I don't do the trigger warning things, because a trigger warning, sometimes it's a double-edged sword. It can keep you from confronting the things you need to confront. If somebody's always warning you because you'll be triggered, you'll never confront that thing and you'll never get over it. A trigger, it's a sign that you need to be healed somewhere. It's a sign that something in you is unhealed. So I don't do the whole trigger warning. I don't need a trigger warning, because if something triggers me, I need healed or something needs killed. So something triggered me. I remember just getting up, running out of that office. The next thing I can remember, I'm home. I'm on my floor. I can hear my best friend, because my best friend actually worked with me. We met at the job. And she had brought a coworker with her. She had brought a male coworker with her, because she didn't like what's going on. They're like, hey, you know. And we had one of them mail slots. You know, one of them mail slots that if you open, you can see through it. So when she opened the mail slot, she saw me on the floor. I had taken pills. I had overdosed. I must have gotten up to the door to let them in. I don't know how they got in. I can't really remember. That part is a little fuzzy. They just restricted my video because of the subject matter I'm talking about. They just restricted to video to certain audience, probably 18 and over. I'm trying to be mindful, but the audience. So all my stuff's all over the floor. And my coworker, he's trying to see what pills did I take? What pills did she take? You know, we need to call, you know, let's help her first. You know, my friend, that's my ride or die. I think I remember her saying something, but wait a minute, let's see if we can get her to throw up first. Because, you know, if we call the people, they going to put her in the crazy house for some days. You know, this isn't a laughing matter, y'all, but sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. But I remember them like, let's see what she took. Let's see if I gotta stick my finger down her throat. You know how some best friends, they gonna hold your hair back when you're throwing up? My best friend said, I'm about to stick my finger down her throat. Boo-boo ain't going to no psych ward. You know, we gotta figure this out. So he's looking and he's trying to figure and gather what pills did I take? And I just remember him saying, Joy Lynn, why do you have bullet casings? Joy Lynn, why do you have bullet shells? So I can only imagine what stories they thought. Did she kill somebody? Did she unalive somebody? Ooh, they gonna keep restricting this video. Lord. Did she unalive somebody? But when, I didn't even know what bullet casings and gun shells, because during the attack, there was a gunfire. A gun was fired. Let me, you know, share with that. During the essay, a gun was fired. And it was just something about when he said, why do you have these bullet casings? Why do you have these bullet shells? It was something that's like, this is the proof I need. This is the proof I need that what happened to me really happened to me. And I'll get to why I thought people wouldn't believe me. It was like, there was like this awakening. I don't know what it was. But fast forward, they called the police. They went to the hospital with me. Well, my best friend, the other coworker, the male, he went back to work. I got a essay kit, and they gave me a morning after pill that made me feel like I went into labor and gave birth. I will never forget that pill. Fast forward, the police come to the hospital, of course, and I filed the report. Do you want to, you know, I end up getting a prosecutor assigned to the case. Now I got to go before the grand jury. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm me. When I tell y'all, I have always been over the top, dramatic, animated, funny. Like literally, I'm in front of this grand jury. I am taking them through so many emotions because I'm having to tell the story. You know, the prosecutor has me telling the story, what happened. I'm storytelling. I'm telling like, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your auntie. I'm storytelling. The jury's laughing, not at me. They're laughing with me. The jury's crying. The jury's gasping. The jury's I am taking these through all these emotions. So y'all, this has always been me. And that's why I will not silence myself. I will not change how I deliver, because let me tell you, it took that grand jury 10 minutes to indict that fool. 10 minutes to indict that fool, because yes, I was loud, I was angry, I was mad, I was animated. It was all of those emotions. I wasn't going to package my delivery. I'm trying to slay a demon up here. Y'all want me to be nice and gentle and not be so mean sounding and not be so aggressive sounding? In 10 minutes, he's indicted, okay? Fast forward, I have my meeting with the prosecutor, and he's asking me things like, no, he tells me we found where the gun was shot. I think he may have tried to fix it or repair it, or he didn't have time to repair it. I'm not sure, but they went to his home because of course they arrested him. My story was lining up. I had the shell. They matched up the shell. That was, you know, they had that. Of course, I had to turn over the shell casings. They matched it up. They found the gun. They found the hole where the bullet had, you know, landed. They had everything that they needed. But then the prosecutor starts saying stuff, you know, they're going to do this and they're going to do that during trial and this and that. And then now he's like, you know, like there's this shift. Like I'm questioning, is he on my side? And then I remember him saying to me, you know that He has pairs of shoes in his closet that cost more than you make in a year. You know he comes from a very prestigious family. You know he was born into wealth. So let me just tell y'all this. It was a white gentleman in Columbus, Ohio, from a very prominent and wealthy family. And basically he was telling me, you're this little black piece of trash that is about to ruin this family legacy. They are about to hire everybody they can to take you down so that you do not take their legacy down. Y'all remember, this is the girl who used to have to choose between maxi pads and Pampers. This is the girl who used to have to wear paper towels and restaurant napkins between her legs because she couldn't afford diapers for the baby and maxi pads. So when they slid that number across the table in front of my face, next thing I know, I'm signing an NDA and cashing a check. Let me tell you the only thing, not the only thing, that makes me shudder. I chose to take a check and sign an NDA over going through that trial and putting that man in jail and destroying his empire. I took a check. Here's something that I always have to cast down when it enters my mind is because I took a check and signed an NDA. How many other women have had to go what I went through because I chose to take a check and sign an NDA? And I know some of y'all might about to get mad because y'all loved her. She was the princess. I think about that same thing with the actress and singer Aaliyah. What if her and her family had just told the truth? What if her and her family hadn't have taken the check and signed the NDA? The world loved Aaliyah. They would have believed her. They would have believed Aaliyah when she said R. Kelly did these things. We would have believed her. We would have believed her family. He would have been shut down in an instant. We would have believed her. The world still loves her. Had her and her family told the truth instead of taking a check and signed an NDA, had I just told the truth and not taken a check and not signed an NDA, had I just sat in that courtroom and attacked the enemy the same way I'm doing now. Whew. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of my story. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what I've gone through. But you know what? My pain ain't special. My situation and my circumstances ain't unique. So I don't have no problem telling you your pain ain't special. Your situations and circumstances ain't unique. But you are special. Your story is unique. Y'all, we got to move up out of that neighborhood called victimhood. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make y'all vacate. I'm trying to come serve the eviction notice. I ain't coming sweet, soft, and nice. I'm coming to behead the enemy that got y'all held hostage over there in victimhood. I'm trying to set y'all free with the truth so that y'all can come over here where the grass is greener on the other side into freedomhood. Y'all want me to watch how I deliver the truth? Y'all want me to not be so angry, not be so mad? Y'all should be angry. Y'all should be mad. Y'all should be angry at these demons that's trying to take y'all's children out. Y'all should be mad at these principalities that's trying to confuse your spouse, your mate, your partner. Y'all should be angry at the enemy that's attacking your finances. Y'all want me to speak to the spirit of poverty nice? Like I said, I understand. There's people who have been called to be gentle. I've been called to take back what's been stolen from us by force, violently, viciously. I'm talking Kill Bill style. I'm using this sword to behead the enemy of lies. And never again will I self-inflict the pain of not being truthful on myself again. Lying to people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Lying to people because I don't want to offend them. But yet I'm offending God.